Hello, good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? There we go. Hope everybody's having a good night. Gypsy says hello. Danny says hello. Hey guys, good to see you. All right, let's see what we can get going here. Having lighting issues. All right, so once again, I'm going to pick up where we left off at Wizardry 7. We're getting ready to head back to New City. Gypsy says it's been a long freaking day. I'm sorry to hear that. What made it so long? If you don't mind my asking. But yeah, we're going to start back in New City and do a little exploring there. See if there's anything we may have missed the first time around. And then, maybe tonight, or maybe not, we'll see where the road takes us next. Apologize, I wasn't on last night. Getting ready for a doctor's appointment today. All right. Let's go ahead and get this started up, since we're starting a little later than normal tonight. Try to not waste any time. Gypsy says, I thought I was never going to make it to the end of my shift at work. Well, I understand how that goes. Love the Wizardry 7 intro music there, as cheesy as it is. Oops, nope, I do not want to import a game. Cancel. We'll load our save game. Get a little candle going here. I've got a really cool frankincense and myrrh candle. Smells very relaxing. Alright, so here we are back at the entrance of New City. Every time I finish an area or a dungeon, I like to see if we can, come back here and figure out if there's anything that we've missed. Arms of Argus. This is the weapon shop, and every time we've come in here, we've had varying degrees of success. The Umpani that runs the shop, he tends to want to be hostile because of the party's alliance with the Terang, the enemies of the Umpani. But we'll see if we can make a little headway with them this time. But I'm going to save before we go in. The inside of the shop is dimly lit with faint outlines. It can be seen upon the walls where various implements of destruction were once displayed. The store seems quite bare, other than a few scattered crates, some open, which are resting on the floor. Tacked upon the back wall are several illustrations of items not immediately identifiable, and whose use and purpose is not readily apparent. A large horned creature approaches you, brandishing an ominous sword and a strange barrel-shaped object, waving them in a threatening exhibition of possible conflict. So we know, when we meet this guy, that we are to mention the black market. Halt. What do you want? This shop is closed permanently. Who sent you? Black market. Spies are everywhere. Come in and be quick about it. So, we don't have the option right away to cast spells or purchase anything. So we need to try to form a truce with him. So we are going to... let's bribe this guy. Bribe him a lot. And now we'll try to make peace. Nope, didn't work. Good Lord. This is what happens every time. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I want to rethink this. So I'm going to terminate the game. And I want to take a good look at my character stats here. And I want to see who might be best to do these negotiations. So let's take a look. Personality 16. Let's look at these skills though. Diplomacy 8. Diplomacy 0, so definitely not Kyler. Diplomacy 0. I'm trying to remember who I dumped most of the diplomacy into. So far, Trevi's in the lead. Diplomacy 18 from the priest, from Sato. I think Sato's going to be the one. So let's try this again. See, it's difficult because we're aligned with the terrain. Had we started the game in neutral ground or something like that, it wouldn't be this hard to get this guy to speak to us. But this guy sells weapons, and that's something I really want to have access to. Alright, so let's try. Who is going to do the truce? Sato is going to do the truce. And let's just bribe this guy with everything Sato's got. Oh, and I think I clicked the wrong button. I did. I hit force, I think. But he didn't attack. He just left. So let's try it again. So let's pull gold and let's really bribe this guy. Let's give him several thousand gold. Gypsy says, so how did you choose who to align with in the beginning? So it's circumstantial. Normally when you just buy this game and start it from scratch, start it fresh, you're not aligned with anybody. But when you import characters from the previous game, you're automatically aligned with a faction depending on how the game starts, and that is determined by how the last game ended. The file that we started this game with had to do with defeating the evil king, destroying the dragon that the king kept as a pet, and then climbing into a spaceship. When you go that route, the spaceship is intercepted, and you are automatically aligned with those spider creatures that you see on the screen sometimes. Other ways to end the last game would be to side with the king instead of, trying to kill him. And then if you do that, you may start the game aligned with these guys. There's different endings to each Wizardry game, and usually the ending determines where the next game starts. The intros to the game are similar for the most part. There's not a big deviation, but it does have some effects, like this one. And so that's how we, became aligned with the terrain. Now, personally, I don't like the terrain. I think they're really the bad guys. So my goal in this game is to try to sort of break free from their influence and maybe even side with these guys. So we've bribed this guy quite a bit. I'm going to try a peace negotiation now. All right, and it looks like we managed to calm the beast, but he leaves. He's not Still not being friendly with us. But there's really nothing of value just in the room other than being able to buy things from him, which is what I'm trying to do. So we're going to save right here. Try this one more time. There we go. So what I'm doing here is just giving him some items that I really don't have a need for. Once again, in hopes to just kind of boost that, you know, that, what's the word I'm looking for? That rapport. Anything we give him, any gold we bribe him with, may have an influence. Let's give him that. So, give him 2 more. Let's try it again. No, darn. It's like, it's so random. But he's leaving. So let me do this. Let's try. I really want to get over this hump with him. Of course, the real answer is going to be just to dump more points into diplomacy. But I feel like this guy's going to have some good weapons. Claire is still sporting the same weapon that she had at the end of the last game, which is not a bad weapon. But Danny says back, sorry, dyeing my hair. Uh-oh, what color are we going with this time? Man, I can't get this guy to stick around. Alright, so just for my own curiosity, I'm going to give him every piece of gold that I have, which I'm not going to accept this outcome because I want to be able to buy things from him, right? But I just want to see what it's going to take to put this guy on our side. Danny says black hair. That's so cool. Alright, truce. Sato. Bribe. Just give him almost everything. Let's see if that works. Nope, he still leaves. Okay, so we're going to have to boost that diplomacy considerably before we try to talk to this guy. Somehow I've not been in this building. Now we have. Bank and loan, we've been in there. Wow, that's a lot of ratkins. A lot of them. Let's see if we can just mow through these guys and go about our business. Oh yeah. There we go. Found a key. That's cool. So what is this building? Whatever it is, we've not been in this door because it's locked. So let's try a few different keys here. Oops. Let's just try some different keys. We have this iron key. Nope. Pewter key. Nope. We have this question mark key that we just found. Nope. Can we pick this yet? No, that'll be a big no. Alright, so back. You know, let's try a spell. That worked. Let's see what's in here. A treasure chest. It's not daggers. It's not gas. It could be fireball. It's going to be either a fireball or a poison dart. Let's go with fireball. And we triggered it. It was a fireball, but we survived it. Oh, we have some interesting armor here. So let's see what we ended up with. A breastplate. So this breastplate is -8 to armor class. The tarnished mail is -4. So guess what? Trevi now has a breastplate. We also found this armor. It looks like a skirt. It is a skirt. I don't believe we have anybody that could wear it. Well, maybe. Let's see. -3. And what's she wearing now? -3. So I'm going to give her the skirt just because it's female only, and that may free up the pants for somebody else later. Alright. And then there was this hat. Let's see about the hat. A feathered hat -2. -4. So nope, we'll stick with that. Okay, cool little haul there though. Now one of the things I'm looking for is there was a library earlier, the last time we were here, and we met the rat, Professor Wonderland, I think his name was. And he talked a bit about, about Old City. Yes. And there's still more in the curio shop, too. I just don't know what to do there yet. Anyways, the professor was talking about Old City, which is something I want to learn more about. I just can't remember where the library was. So let's walk around until we find it. Maybe it was up here. Don't recall. Nope, we've been in here. There it is. All right. Here he is. Here's the professor. So blueprints. So we're going to ask about the blueprints. The blueprints of Old City, part of my records on our history of Old City. So we've heard Old City twice now. The history of Old City, that's what I've been researching. Listen and I'll tell you what I've learned. A long time ago, everyone lived here together, all in the same city, Old City. Life was simple for our ancestors. There was a common purpose to fulfill the law of something called the sacred stone. That's a key word. As time went on, there's a disagreement on the meaning of the sacred writing. Yeah, we've seen this before. Sacred stone. Newer cities were constructed. Old City was abandoned. So basically, the gist of this is this town that we're in was once the main city where everybody lived in harmony, and then as people drifted away, new city was built on top of it. But the old city's still there, and that's what I'd like to get access to. The Hagardi. We've heard about the mountains. This is a long-winded speech here. They were very mysterious. We know little about them. Now, somebody that we spoke with mentioned archives. Maybe it was the Orc Ogre King. I can't remember. There were some archives in Old City. When New City was built, the archives were sealed off and covered over. Years ago, I went there to study records of our history. I think I may still have the key. One moment. So that's what we were missing, was that piece of information to mention archives to him. The access to Old City South. Okay. So we found this before, but we did not have the key because we didn't know what to say. Now we have the key. And so now we'll be able to access the Old City. Which now I have to remember. I think maybe it was here. I know it was on the south side of town. This is as good a place as any. I don't think it was in the dock. Maybe not. Let's see. The dangers of the deep. Brombadag, the demon of the sea. So there's a sea monster. Birds. Birds twice the size of a man, large enough to reach down out of the sky and pluck you from your ship and carry you off. There's many a danger out there on the sea. That's why it's called Sea of Sorrows. The demon of the sea. Okay, so he's just going to repeat what he said earlier. Alright, I don't think we're going to do any seafaring right now. So we'll say goodbye. Let's see what's up with this door here. Let's see if we can open it. Oh, that actually worked. Let's see what's in here. Spanning the room, suspended by hoists and beams, the skeleton of a small sailing vessel awaits completion. Looking close at the unfinished ship, discoloration in the wood of various sections suggests the small boat has probably been under construction for several years, possibly more. It is evident that at this rate of progress, it could be a decade before the ship is ready to sail the open seas. Clearly, there is little hope of it being any use in your current endeavor. Okay. Alright, so that'll probably come in handy at some point. Okay, so back to the search for the old city access. Trying to remember where we saw that. Was it in the condemned area? I don't think so. Maybe. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Old City Access is what that's going to say. So we have a key, but it's not clear if we use it here. It doesn't look like a keyhole. Who got that? Sato got that. Yeah, that did work. Okay, so here we go. We're going to venture into Old City. Let's rest up. I can't remember what's down here. Let's cast a little healing here. Get Sato healed up. Claire healed. Do a little healing on Danny. Do a little healing on Lulu. I'm going to save. And we'll rest up a little more. There we go. Let's get our spells up. Enchanted Blade. Detect Secret. And Magic Screen. Let's go down. So we are in Old City. The air is dank and unpleasantly musty, an odor possibly attributable to a slick ochre mold which covers the walls and floor. You are able to detect faint footprints in the moldy floor, suggesting that someone else has been here recently. So, if I remember right, and I could be wrong, I think that's a bad sign. Part of this game, one of the goals in this game is to collect those special maps. And I think this dungeon held one of those maps. And because we got here so late, maybe that means it's no longer here. A lot of the trick to this game is being speedy. when it comes to your exploration, and we've wasted a lot of time. The map is still obtainable. We just have to get it from whoever might have it. Or I could be completely wrong and it's still here, but I think the footprints are supposed to indicate that, you know, we're not the first ones here. Empty room. A witch. Let's see what she does. So these aren't particularly challenging. I feel like maybe we should have been here way earlier on. The natural order for the game, I believe, is New City, Orc Ogre Castle, New City again, and then all the Monkarama stuff. We sort of got sidetracked with some of that. The room appears vacant, though the air is quite ripe with a putrid stench of something dead. Okay. Let's explore these alcoves here. There's a gate here. We'll check that out in a minute. So there's a secret here. Let's just be thorough. Right. So let's go into the secret room. A venom weevil. Yeah, the encounters here are way easier than what we've been dealing with. Could be a psionic bolt. It's got to be a psionic bolt. And of course I trip it first thing. Good lord, I'm having terrible luck with the treasure chest tonight. Several books, an amulet, and a key. Alright, let's see if we can see what this stuff is. A book. Cast Identify, Book of Detection, Book of Resting, another one. And what else did we have? This key. We'll identify it. Old City key. And then somebody else had one more item, this book. Let's see what this is. Book of Haste. Alright, so we learned some new spells here. I bet you the Old City key opens this gate. Let's try it. Correct. Save. And we've got some negative status effects here, so we are going to try to rest those off before we go in. Wow, they're really sticking good. There we go. They're starting to drop now. Let's save, and I'm going to do another quick rest. So we have an iguanodon here, a dragon lizard. Should be quick work. Ow. Well, Lulu's having bad luck tonight. There we go. Well, let's do some manual healing on Lulu here. There we go. Alright, let's keep going. A horrid waft of stinking air assails you. Oh. Creeping crud and 5 fungus oozes. So we're going to put the melee characters on the crud. Sato's going to breathe on the fungus, and Danny's going to do a fireball on these guys. And 3 of the characters are nauseous, which is not a terrible effect, but sometimes it causes them to miss a turn. Alright, let's try to rest off that effect, and then we'll cast our spells after the rest. Alright, let's start by going south. We'll get a perimeter of this hallway. Another dragon lizard. This time we're going to try to put him to sleep. No good on the sweep. But we made short work of him anyways. Wow, so this is a long hallway with a bunch of what looks like interconnecting rooms, maybe? Yeah, this dungeon's not going to give us too much trouble. Three good hits by Kyler. Alright, so we'll do room by room. Some more cruds. Let's do a whirlwind on these guys, see what happens. Six fungus oozes. So we've got three characters that are nauseous again. Short rest to end their nauseousness. Okay, so that's that wing. Let's go through here. We have two ghosts. We'll do a Angel's Tongue. Oh, it actually cast a magic missile on the party. Oh, come on. There's got to be something here, right? One little black square. I guess it's nothing. Let's try to rest really quick. Let's do a little manual healing. Oops. Let's get Kyler healed up. Claire. Sato topped off there. We'll give Claire one more boost to a level 4. There we go. Do another quick rest here. All right, let's get our spells back up. You know, I say this every so often, but this is a game that I think could really benefit from some modern housekeeping. I'm not so much a remake, although I guess that's probably what it would be, but I can think of a lot of quality life enhancements. For example, if they ever remade the game, resting without the actual weight. Maybe just a fade in, fade out. Random die roll will decide if there's an encounter or not, you know. A lot of antiquated ideas in this game by today's standards. And I think you could refine that a bit without ruining the experience. There is a more modern version of the game. I think it was made for the PlayStation in Japan, or I can't remember what system it was, but it doesn't look near as good as this version. With the state of the Wizardry IP, who knows? We'll probably never see a remaster of this. So it looks like we've almost reached the end of the dungeon. I've not found anything. Let's look closer at that map. Let's keep our eyes peeled. There should have at least been an empty treasure chest, I would think. Which we kind of sort of found, right? Maybe. Nothing? I'm watching that eyeball. Don't see any switches. Detect secrets not going off. Oh! There's something. How did I miss that the first time? Four skeletons. You know, I think we're gonna do a little bit of this time. Oh, and here it is. So if I remember correctly, this chest will either have a map in it, or someone else has already beaten us to the punch and has taken the map. Of course, I could be wrong, and I could be misremembering. Pretty sure, though, someone's already raided this chest. Oh, there's a switch over there. Did you see it? Let's save. So we know there's something here. Magic sparks. Or a life stealer. Let's assume the worst and go with life stealer. Come on. Ah, terrible. The worst luck with these chests tonight. want to see what this Ankh is all about. Ankh of Youth. Interesting. Special power. We'll play with that a little bit off camera so I can determine its function. Oh, and I have this amulet I forgot about. I hope it's a life amulet. Let's do a little more identifying here on this reagent. Dragon's Teeth, we already have one of those. Somebody asked me what those things do. They're just little extra items you can equip that may boost Amulet of Stillness. That may just boost stats or whatever. Most of my characters have things that I already feel are better than that. Gypsy says, but it still didn't have a map. And you're right. But here's a switch, so let's see what's behind this wall. Let's also go ahead and put our Enchanted Blade back up. It expired. Bet you it's this chest. Oh, not looking good. So I'm going to cast a spell this time. Opening the chest, you find nothing but scattered pieces of empty waxen wrappers. What was contained inside the wrappings has no doubt been taken by someone else. So yep, like I said, the footprints at the beginning of the dungeon made it clear that someone else had been here. So the contents of the chest are still obtainable, but you have to determine who it was that got here first and either obtain the map from them or kill them for it. So that makes 2 chests that we found so far that we relate to. The one in Orc Ogre Castle and this one. So we're not having the most optimized experience here, but a lot of it's due to the length of time in which I'm doing these things. But it's still fun to explore. So I think what we'll do tonight is we will emerge from this dungeon and call that a night. And then next week it's off to somewhere completely new. We'll follow the road past Mokarama to a new zone. So that was Old City. That was kind of cool. You could tell from the difficulty of the monsters that we were overpowered. So it was intended that we would have got here way earlier in the game, which is another reason that the chest was empty. So what I'm going to do is go up to this resting room that we unlocked earlier on one of our previous visits, and we'll save the game there and rest up. Gypsy says, how do you attain them without fighting? Well, the one that we got, the crypt map, I think is the one I have. We bought it from the person who had it. I can't remember if it was the king or one of the Gorn had it, and we bought it from him. Let's just see what this guy's got. Of course, I spent all my money just now, but yeah, nothing that I want. And so here will be a room with a nice healing fountain. We'll use that to top everybody off. and this is where we'll save the game for the night. Thanks for tuning in and watching as we slowly begin to make progress in the game. I say we're probably a quarter of the way through, maybe a little bit more at this point. But if my memory serves me correct, these next areas are where things really start to get rolling and the speed of the game really picks up, which is good for you guys that are watching. But again, I will be here tomorrow night. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see where the road takes us next. Have a good evening.